Mr. Andy's planned to build two types of house, A and B, on a plot of land measuring 10,000 meters square. After making a survey, he found out that one unit of house A requires 100 meters square of land and one unit of house requires 75 meters square. Mr. Andy has a limited land, so the number of houses to be built is at least 200. A. Identify the constraints in the problems. Write a mathematical model to represent the problem. Draw a graph to represent the mathematical model obtained in B.
Okay, right. Now this is an actual linear programming question, right? So it comes to you in the form of a problem. They give you factors, they give you constraint, they give you numbers. So if you have not tried many problems before, you cannot figure out what they are talking about. So in order to help you to figure out what they are talking about, you use a table. Now this table you fill up accordingly. Whatever you read from the question, you fill it inside the table. Oh, then you can see clearly the problem, right? So I advise you to draw the table. But then you ask me, hey, table got marks or not? Table no marks. The table only help you to form the equation, only help you to figure out the problem, only help you to visualize the problem, right? So it's like that. Now, how to draw the table, right? First of all, you must identify two types of objects. Types. The word is types. I try to use this one. I try to use the drawing. The word is type. Type, type, type. Oh, draw too many times already. Okay. So the word is types, right? So what are the two types that you can identify here? I read two types of houses. Oh, straight away I know already. So the type here, there are two types of houses. What are the two types of houses? A and B. Okay. So house A type, and house B type. Okay. So you form the table by writing down the type first, then what type and type, right? Then this one you have to fill up the total, the total. Then sometimes they may have a maximum or minimum, the constraint, right? This one is a constraint. Okay, next, this one they need not tell you the number. This one is always there. The type and the number is always there. These two, let me see, these two. This one, this one. Oh, sorry. This one, the number and the okay. So the type and the number is always there, right? So whatever question that they're going to ask you, there's definitely this type and number there. Okay, so you say house A, house B. How many house A are you going to build? And it has to be always the same, X. How many house B are you going to build? Always the same, Y. So so this one, and this one, all the table must have this type. Then this one and this one, all the tables must have the green thing that I have marked there, right? The other, this one may be house A, house B, machine A, machine B. What other you can make? Cake, cake A, cake B, like that. So the type may change, but the number is always X and Y, right? So what is the total number of houses? Oh, total number of houses is X plus Y, right? And it is written here, the number of houses to be built is at least 200. So this is the constraint, right? So the total number of houses the constraint is minimum 200, at least 200. So this constraint here, it depends on the question, right? Depends on the question. Okay, now other than the type of houses and the number, there are factors that affect the question. So what are the factors that you can identify here? Or they talk about A requires 100 meters. This is the size of the land, the area of the land. So let me see, what is the factor? The land area. Land area. Now, land area, house A requires 100 meter. One house, 100 meter. 100 square meter is about 1,000, one more than 1,000 square feet. Right? So house A is 100 meters. But then, are you going to build only one house? No. You are going to build this one, X number of houses. So you cannot write down 100 here because 100 is only for one house. If you want to build X house, it will be 100X. So the same thing for Y. The house B is 75 meters. 75 meters is for only one house, type B. Right? But you are not going to build one. You are going to build how many house B? Y. So I'm not going to write down 75 because 75 is for only one house. I have Y number of houses, so it's 75 times Y. Then we come to this one, total. What is the total area? Total area is 100x plus 75y. Is there any constraint on the land, the size of the land? Yes, the constraint is the land is only 10,000 meters square. So the constraint is the maximum. This one is the minimum, right? This one is minimum, but this one is maximum. So I cannot write down here maximum. I have to write down maximum or minimum. So this is the constraint, right? Now, other than the constraint, right? This the constraint that I have written here. The land size, the number of houses must be at least 200. The size of the land, you can only maximum 10,000 meters, right? But there are two other constraint that is hidden in this question, and it is always the same. In every question, there are this constraint. The constraint, they are x greater than 0 and y greater than 0. Now, why I say so? Because x is the number of houses. The least number of houses is 0. Don't build any house. So x can be 0. Can x be negative 1? Can x be negative 2? Can you build negative 4 houses? You cannot build negative houses. So the number of houses x must be greater or equal to 0. Similarly, the house of type B must be greater or equal to 0. So these two constraints, they will never tell you in the question. They will never tell you in the question. They only you know, and you must write it down there, right? Must write down these two, right? Even they tell you or they don't tell you, you have to do like that. Okay, so these two, they are the first constraint that you have to bear in mind. Then the second one is what is given in the question. The total number of houses must be at least 200. So the total number, x plus y, at least 200. So it must be greater or equal to 200. Then you change this to y equals to mx plus c. Then leave it there. Okay. So far, any question? Okay, so if no question, then we carry on. Now, the next constraint is the land area. They have only 10,000 square meter. Can you build more than 10,000? Cannot. So the total land area 100x plus 75y can only be less than or equal to 10,000. Okay. Then you change this equation to the form y equals to mx plus c. So in the y equal to mx plus c form, y is less than or equal to negative 4 over 3x. And this is the gradient. Then this one divided by 75 become 133 and 1/3. What did I tell you? If you come across not a whole number, cannot plot. Cannot plot, then you have to use another point, which is whole number. So I don't know which point, which other point is a whole number. I try to put the x-intercept. So I try to put x-intercept, I put y equals to 0. Y equals to 0 here. So I have 100x equals to 10,000. So x equals to 100. So I'm going to use this to plot instead of the y-intercept. I'm going to use the x-intercept. So how to plot the lines? Okay, right. So the first one. Yes. So this one, I can start from 200. Can you see the 200 here? It's 200. So I start from the y-intercept, 200. Then I plot according to the gradient. What is the gradient here? The gradient is negative 1. The gradient is negative 1. M is negative 1, which is equal to negative 1 over 1. So this is the gradient. And how am I going to proceed? I use 1 over 1, but its negative is in this direction, not the other direction. So I'm going to plot according to this one. Okay, so next one. So it will be 1 1 1 1, right? Next one, 1 1. Next one, also 1 1. Next one, also 1 1. And you can see there are many 1 1 1 1 1 1 there. You try to imagine, try to imagine, then you draw the straight line. Draw the straight line. And greater than or less than? Greater than. Oh, greater than. So is it less than or greater than? Greater than. Greater than means above the line, right? Above the line. Okay, next one. This is the equation now. I'm going to draw this. Okay. This is the point. I start from 100. See here 100. 100. So I'm going to start from this 100 0. So this is the point I start for the second line. Okay. Then I try to go according to the gradient. The gradient is 4 over 3, negative. Negative means going in the other direction. So 4, 3. 4 units, 3 units. Okay, don't count the number of squares, count the number of units. Okay, 4, 3 again. 4, 3, right? 4, 3 again, right? So if you go another 4, 3, then 4 here is outside already, so no need. So I'm going to join up all these points using a straight line. So this is the so this is the straight line. Okay, so I'm going to shape the region, right? I'm going to shape the region, right? So one is this is the region, right? In between, not in between. One is less than. Oh, this is less than, huh? Okay, never mind. Any questions so far? Any question?